Hello, my beautiful Sagittarius friends, and welcome to your horoscope for January of 2023. We're Sagittarius. Remember, this month, as we're coming in, we are not coming in with this high-flying, get-it-done energy. That is just not what is available. We are coming into January of 2023 really very slowly. Right, we're coming in with Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and yes, they are going to come out of retrograde this month, which is great because it will remove a little bit of that pressure, and we'll also welcome Uranus out of retrograde as well. But we're still in a bit of a reflective time, and the things that kind of need to work themselves into the right places and grooves in order for us to really take strong, efficient action as we move forward. They're still coming together this month. So this month I would offer you almost, really, it's this energy for me with you around, where can you find solace in some of the beginnings of continuing things that are happening in your life. Okay, so I think that'll make a little bit more sense as we get into this forecast. So let's do that. Let's jump in. Right at the beginning of the month, Sagittarius, on the 2nd, we're going to see Venus moving into the energy of Aquarius. So this is going to start this light up, this heralding of your third house space. Now, we've had Saturn here in your third house since, throughout 2022 and still currently. So something in your learning zone, how you learn, maybe something you're studying, a communication, the way that you talk, buying, selling, things with your siblings, they've had a more serious energy to them anyways, because this vibration is trying to crystallize. It's trying to take you to the next level. Now, as Venus comes into it, one of the things I think that it offers to you, Sag, is honestly this energy of, if you've been studying hard, you've been working hard, you've been receiving a lot of information, maybe your mind, your physical mind is maturing under that energy of Saturn. Venus coming in is like, okay, it's not all hard all the time. It's almost this really supportive vibration of, yes, we have to make these more serious decisions. We're taking on this more serious course of study, or we're discussing things that have a more serious nature, but there's also healing here. There's also Aquarius, an availability to have some freedom around your energy, around understanding a perspective of another person, saying, you know what, you're free to be you, I'm free to be me, getting the formation of your own individual mind. This is a really big deal. I think that this is a big concept with Venus attracting in unconventional thoughts to you, which doesn't mean that they're just things you maybe hadn't thought of, or a way you hadn't thought of them before, Sagittarius, and now it's bringing you a little peace, a little ease, and you can see the mental freedom that comes around Venus pulling this energy of harmony into this area. Now, I also think that Venus is still Venus, so where it comes to matters of romance and money, these may come to you in unconventional forms. Maybe that friend is not a friend anymore. It's time to be a lover. Maybe you want to be friends with benefits. Maybe you're doing the poly thing. What is it that you're doing that in your love world, like in your mind, it is in alignment, okay? So be open to what the exploration of what the Venus harmony or the ease may pull into you, and say yes. Say yes if you can, if it makes sense, if it's safe, if you're safe, of course, to some of these different financial experimentations, because maybe you just hadn't thought of them before, Sagittarius. All right. When we get to the 6th, we're going to have a full moon in the energy of Cancer at 16 degrees, and this is going to light up your 8th house space, okay? So this is joint resources. This is joint connections. This is intimacy. Intimacy and assets live here, right? So the intimacy of you and another person, you and your own sexuality, you and your body, you and that divine fire that rises in you from the root chakra where you create life. So whether that's babies and children, or it's business, or it's your own thrusting force into the world, right? This is the time where the full moon is saying you need to end something, acknowledge something, or make an adjustment, because your emotional wellness is being squeltered here, right? We want to change, and we want to make space for your emotional needs, for your nurturing, for your compassion, for that relationship with women in your life, Cancer, your relationship with home, to be healthy and to be free. And whatever you end, acknowledge, or adjust is going to serve you down the road. And we know that because this moon is in a wonderful connection with Uranus and the transiting North Node. So moving towards that Taurus energy, moving towards the Taurus divine resource, the steadiness of a Taurus energy, understanding that Taurus energy. Whatever you shed here becomes your pearl of wisdom in that boat that gets you to the shore of understanding the resource connection that maybe you couldn't understand before, right? I also think Sagittarius, this is just a thought that continues to come through for me because that Uranian energy and that North Node are in your 6th house. Is it Sagittarius, is this a time for you where you're needing to deal with your body? You're needing to physically deal with your body. Have you been emotionally eating or something like that? And it has caused you to create kind of an emotional constipation in your body or in your health or in your daily routine in some way. So this could also be that where you have an understanding or where you're able at this full moon to gather support that you need, you feel like you can confidently tackle what's happening in your daily routine. So my Sag friends that applies to, please let me know that in the comment section down below. And I'm just sending you a lot of love because that's hard stuff sometimes, okay? When we get to the 12th, we see Mars coming out of retrograde in the energy of Gemini at 8 degrees. Now this is across the street, so it lights up your relationship zone. So what you have wanted, what you desire, current relationships that are in your life, current relationship dynamics, how you've gone about those relationships, to include the relationship, Sagittarius, of you with you, right? But also I think for many of you, it's also going to encompass the relationship of how you do relationships. Are you avoiding relationships to avoid pain? Are you getting into relationships, whether they be business or romance, and just expecting them to be fun all the time? Is there something in your relationship that you need to talk about? You need to fight it out. You need to have that conversation about. You need to, get some assertion and some clarity in this area. This is what this Mars retrograde has been about. Mars retrograde in Gemini, you've been gathering information. And if you've been gathering your information, I think that truly by the time we arrive at March of 2023 and Mars ends the entirety of its post-retrograde shadow energy, you will feel confident and assured and equipped with the information you need to navigate in your relationships much differently. This is also a great energy because Gemini is about the network. So again, did you need to gather and garner information and support, like people, relationships in your network, to be able to successfully achieve something down the road, okay? As we get to the 18th, we see Mercury coming direct in the energy of Capricorn at 8 degrees. So as Mercury is now going to come out of retrograde as well, this is in your 2nd house. So the space of value, right? Your money and your finances. So likely there's been some kind of change to your financial agreements, arrangements, how you make money, things like that. Maybe, it was Christmas and you had a seasonal contract and now you don't have that anymore. Or some change to your financial situation that really would have kicked off. Think back to December 12th of 2022. What started in the financial conversation for you right there that now you're going to start to see some resolution and also see an ability to move forward, right? But the other thing I think in the 2nd house is not only relationships, but value. Your self-esteem, your self-worth, how you value yourself and how you demand that others value from that 2nd house being as well. Under the energy of Capricorn, this is how are you going to author your own story, Sagittarius, and what are you ready to tell? What are you ready to share? Who are you ready to be as you come out on the stage? And what foundations and disciplines are you getting in place, or do you already have in place and they are demonstrating success to you? So as you come out and you're ready to start demanding your value on this global stage or in your little community, right? You feel able to do that. I also think too, for some of you, if you have been putting out the resumes, it hasn't been working out, you weren't able to make the commission, something around the finances where it was just real, the struggle bus pulled right on up to your house, okay? This is a time where, especially after the 18th, you can start to see some of this financial energy picking up. It gets a lot louder when we get to February 11th and Mercury's done with post-retrograde shadow time. and then even louder as we get to March of 2023, okay? When we get to the 18th, when we get to the 20th, we're going to see the sun move into the energy of Aquarius, so bringing light, heat, life, and vitality. So there's a motivation, there's something new coming in. We also have a new moon happening at 1 crisp degree of Aquarius, so it's this signature or this indicator that you've got something new. Are you taking on a new course of story? Has your mind changed? Are you writing a new story, right? Are you having different conversations? Do you have different information that's available to you? Is there a different grouping of people, who are coming into your study group, coming into your learning group, who are taking your classes? Are you reading different content, books, materials, buying, selling things with maybe different people or unconventional people that hadn't been around you before, okay? When we get to the 22nd, we see Uranus coming out of retrograde at 14 degrees of Taurus. Now, since May of 2022 going all the way until May of 2023 is the full Uranian retrograde cycle. That's retrograde, direct, and post, okay? So with Uranus here in Taurus, again, this is your daily routine. So I do feel like, May of 2022, you might not have been aware of it just yet, Sag. It's a real possibility you weren't aware of it. Uranus is, one of our outer planets. So you don't know everything about yourself all the time. None of us do. So sometimes when one of these outer planets takes a move, especially in an earth energy, which are our structures, our beliefs, the things that we do in a daily way, we haven't been completely conscious to their need to change or where we struggle with them. Right? So as Uranus has been retrograde, it's been like in your daily routines, in your health, in your wellness, something could have just like a rut. You were in a rut here and you didn't know it, and Uranus shocked this and like opened the earth up for you, and things could have gone very sideways. Did you get really off track in your daily routine? I'm talking off track like a Taurus, like gained 20, 30 pounds. What happened in your daily routine? Is there something going on, Taurus energy in the body, you have edema somewhere? What's going on with your emotional connection to your value in your daily routine? In your daily routine, as Uranus is coming direct, though, I think the benefit is that you have seen now, like where this has been a rut and needed a change of direction, and you needed to find your own way, to have your own freedom, your own say, your own voice, your own value, your own money, Sagittarius, right? You are now cued in. You're now cued in, and by the time we see you in May of 2023, I think you've got your feet underneath you. You're pretty clear of where maybe you've been struggling or where you've been doing great, but where you ultimately want to gain a bit more freedom. So good on you, Sag, okay? As we're going to close out this month, beautiful Sagittarian friends, on the 26th, we see Venus move into the energy of Pisces, and this lights up your fourth house, home, family, real estate, property. It's here with Neptune as well. So this is it's an abundant energy where Venus is exalted in the energy of Pisces. So something around home is maybe dissolving. And I kept getting this sense for you all month, Sag. It's so funny. The thing I see for you, Sagittarius, is it's like an apartment. It's like an apartment. So for some of you Sagittarians, let me know. Are you moving into or out of an apartment? But it's like, it's yours. Something about this is it's yours. It's your space. It's your own capacity. You kind of realize that whatever's happened in life, it's not this, it's not that. Everything's everything. That's the great energy of Pisces. There is a forgiveness that comes with it. There is a compassion. There is a goddess energy where you say, my home, my body, my shell, my mind, my parents, what it's been, I've got to embrace it because it's the only way for me to be free. It's the only way for me to be at peace. Now, also, Venus is that relationship attracting in relationships and financial energy. So, do you get a new roommate? Do you move someplace? You find that apartment that you want to move into and you're like, oh my God, do you just go home after all of the holidays and you're finally starting to settle in and you're like, this is like manna from heaven. These are my sheets. This is my smell. These are my things, and you just really love it. But whatever it is, there's this kind of ease, compassion, and all giving all knowing, all is all kind of energy that I think is very healing and restorative to you around home. Now, one last thought that I have about this fourth house energy for you this month, Sag, is, you know, have you been missing your parents, right? Or have you been missing who you call home? Okay, let me say it like that. Are you missing who you call home? And you're able to make some kind of connection there that brings a lot of peace. This could be a perfectly good explanation of this energy for you as well. So please, my beautiful Sagittarian friends, let me know how January manifests for you. I'm sending you a lot of love wherever the journey is taking you this month. Remember, it's not wrong. Whatever you're learning is what you're learning because it's where you're at, and support yourself. Love yourself with that as well, okay? I love you. I'll see you in February. Bye, beautiful.